It's hard to explain to a non-MMA fan that the kid on the left would defeat the guy on the right in a fight. Now, this is the age-old debate we're going to settle today. We got the bodybuilder muscle mass on the right versus skill and technique and slenderness on the left.
Bodybuilders versus fighters. Who would win in a fight? It seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? But a lot of people say the size matters a lot in a fight, and it certainly does to a certain extent, but skill also matters a lot. We've done a lot of videos talking about size versus skill on this channel, but today we're going to break it down even more. Here's the first example of an extremely jacked bodybuilder versus a professional MMA fighter.
A well-known bodybuilder entered an MMA match against a professional fighter, but the result was rather unexpected. In the first round, the bodybuilder attempted to jump in the first round, but the pro quickly kicked him back, followed by a solid punch. Then, as the pro moved in closer, the bodybuilder tried to give him a suplex but failed miserably. After that, the pro fighter threw an outburst of punches, not letting his opponent get to his feet. Then, 40 seconds into the match, the pro applied a rear naked choke to take out his opponent, who quickly fell to the ground.
As you can see, bodybuilders actually make pretty terrible fighters. Yes, muscle mass is useful, but at the end of the day, a lot of it just comes down to technique. A lot of them have no range of motion, so the extra muscle on them is just being carried around. It's just like extra weight they have to deal with. There are countless instances online of 200-pound bodybuilders entering a fight and getting humbled by someone about half their size.
Right, now, this isn't the best example because the opponent of the bodybuilder is also extremely jacked. Take a look at him, look at his back muscles. This isn't really settling the size versus skill debate, because both of them are jacked. It's just that one of them is a little bit more of a bodybuilder and the other one is a jacked MMA fighter. You can also see how erratic the movements are of the bodybuilder. If this fight lasted longer than 45-60 seconds, the bodybuilder would be gassed just because of the sheer amount of muscle, and that's one of the downsides to having that much muscularity on your frame. Having that much muscle is going to impact your cardiovascular system, and one of the biggest weapons you can have when you're a fighter is the cardio. Now, if this tattooed bodybuilder had the same level of skill as the pro MMA fighter, then the chances are he would actually have the upper hand, because then he would have the size and the skill. But let's also take it back to the first example. You've got Chase Hooper on the left, who I think is a flyweight or bantamweight. He might even be a featherweight. And then you've got Chris Bumstead on the right, who's a 220-pound shredded bodybuilder. Who would win in a fight there? Well, if I really had to put money on it, I would probably go with Chase Hooper. Although, if it was a street fight, Chris Bumstead does have a good chance of winning, just because he can do the Bradley Martin effect and just pick you up and slam you on your head. But if Chase Hooper was able to move around, let Chris Bumstead get tired, maybe do some stomp kicks to his knees, throw some low kicks, then he'd be able to take Chris Bumstead's back and just choke him out. Also, if the bodybuilder isn't used to fighting, all it takes is a little crack on the face and it can mess them up in the head to the point where the bodybuilder will no longer want to fight because he doesn't like the look of his own blood or his face hurts, and he's just not used to it. So if I really had to put my money on it, I would put it on Chase Hooper. But some bodybuilders are really delusional about their fighting capabilities, kind of like this guy. So a skinny MMA fighter is really supposed to stop this? Yes, we will. I don't discriminate because I come from the world of bodybuilding. I've got a lot of family who do bodybuilding and I like bodybuilding as well, although I don't look like it at the moment because I haven't trained in so long. But when I'm going to kickboxing and I see someone like this, I think to myself, okay, sound, this is going to be an easy round. Because I know generally they're going to be stiff, they're going to be slow, they are going to be sluggish, and I'm going to be able to dance around them. Now, if we're grappling, on the other hand, that's where size matters a lot more. So size matters less when it comes to striking and a little bit more when it comes to grappling. That being said, I can still be relatively skinny, but strong. And that's why I tell you guys to make sure that you're lifting. Don't just do martial arts. Make sure you lift as well. You want to be increasing your physicality, increasing that neural drive and the strength of your nervous system. You want to be getting a strong deadlift, strong bench press, strong overhead press, strong weighted chin-ups. And if you need any help doing that, check out my Natural Physique Academy down below. So you've got the skill as well as the physicality and strength. We actually had a few professional MMA fighters comment on this. Blake the Builder said, send location, brother. Cody Stamen said, with a hand tied behind my back. This is a good one. Getting jacked, good work, dude. But as a 6 foot, 275-pound bodybuilder who boxes, the answer is, yeah, I get starched daily and I'm the biggest in the gym by a long shot. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I love the honesty and the humility out of this guy here. The biggest guy in the gym, and he gets starched every single day. I know a few lads like that, and this is a good one. 3 low kick, 1 high kick. That right there is the formula to get you to KO on a bodybuilder any day of the week. Even Street Beef's commented here saying, in what world do lifting weights increase your fighting ability? Well, they do to a certain extent. If you're skinny with no fighting ability versus having an extra 10 to 20 pounds of muscle on you with no fighting ability, I would rather have the extra muscle with no fighting ability than be skinny with no fighting ability. So it does help a little bit, but there comes a point when you actually need to learn the skills, especially if you want to challenge someone who knows what they're doing.
Even in a street fight,
I'd beat the fuck out of you in the street.
no,
fight.
I would kill you, bro.
Yeah,
I would kill you. I would kill you, bro.
God, I love it.
No, like for
You
real,
think
for real.
at your weight?
Around my walk around weight, I would kill you.
What's your weight? Damn it! I want his fucking weight.
No, so 150, around 150.
Bro, I would maul you at 150.
No,
100%.
no.
As confident as you are.
Okay,
about
so let me tell you something.
150. You're
Let me
talking
tell you
about
something.
150
But
pounds.
let me tell you something.
Okay.
You cannot take a punch though. So like you're not used to getting hit. So
I've been hit though.
no. But you've been
Not
hit.
by you.
But
not
you've
by-
been hit by regular guys, like guys who don't even know how to punch.
Now, the problem here is that they're both right. If Bradley Martin gets close to Devin Haney and Devin Haney cracks him, Bradley's not used to getting hit, especially by a professional boxer with that kind of speed and power. Bradley Martin probably wouldn't know what to do. Devin Haney would probably be able to piece him up with 3 punches before Bradley done anything. At the same time, if Bradley grabbed Devin Haney and Devin only weighs 150 pounds, Bradley would just be able to throw him up over his head, do a Tarzan, and throw him. So they are both right. The question is, who could implement their game first? And that's the only thing I have against Bradley Martin, because I like him, but I'd rather see him have a spar with someone. You don't have to do a street fight. Obviously, it's too dangerous. But why don't you do an MMA spar with one of these professional MMA fighters? And we actually had a bodybuilder on TikTok weigh in on this whole size versus skill debate, specifically addressing the Bradley Martin versus Devin Haney fight. Now, this TikToker / bodybuilder is of the belief that because he is big, he can fight.
Anyone who says Devin Haney would beat Bradley Martin in the street fight is fucking brain dead. They're coping. Yes, Devin Haney's an elite athlete. He's the size of a 9th grader. He fights at 135. If this was just a random bodybuilder, like, who's just big, yeah, you could give it to Devin Haney, but Bradley Martin trains grappling, and he has been for a while. Let's forget that Bradley Martin's mainly a bodybuilder and Devin Haney's a fighter for a second. If I asked you who'd win in the street fight, someone with 0 grappling experience that's 135 to 150, and someone with a bit of grappling experience who's 245, who are you picking in the street fight? Does Devin Haney have a chance in the street fight? He most definitely does. Could knock out Brad in 1 punch potentially, but what's more likely to happen is him just get grabbed, mounted, and his ass beat. It's also short. This is the only correct opinion to have, so if you think differently, you're at a lower level of thinking.
If Bradley is able to close the distance and grab Devin Haney, then obviously Bradley's going to win. That's why I generally don't recommend people just learn boxing. If you're going to choose to do a martial art, it's always best to go with a striking discipline as well as a grappling discipline, and then stack on top of that lifting weights and adding muscle and strength. If you do those 3 things, you will beat Bradley Martin in a street fight, but you need that cardio, you need that strength and physicality, you need that technique. So yeah, size matters.
Conor McGregor's coach to a wrestling match, which probably wasn't a good idea. When they began, it picked up quickly, and the bodybuilder soon realized he made a big mistake. And in just 15 seconds, the bodybuilder submitted.
I'll just remind everyone, this is Conor McGregor's boxing coach, okay? Not as BJJ coach. So this is Owen Roddy. His main discipline is boxing, and look what he was able to do with this bodybuilder. Now, of course, the bodybuilder doesn't really know what he's doing, but I mean, what athleticism we're seeing there, and he gets the choke. Amazing. Now, in order for Owen Roddy to be able to do that, he needed the skill, he needed the technique, and he also needed to work twice as hard that the bodybuilder was working in order to combat that physicality. You can literally see him here. He goes for a pure roller coaster ride. And if you look at the sheer size difference, Owen Roddy is about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. This bodybuilder, I remember him from a while back. I haven't seen him recently though. He's about 6'2", maybe taller, and he's jacked and on gear. So once again, another example of size doesn't matter as long as the smaller opponent is more skilled. The fact is, most bodybuilders, they think because they lift weights that they're quite athletic. When lifting weights, especially for a good amount of years, it can make you stiff and slow, especially if you don't prioritize mobility and movement whilst you're simultaneously lifting weights. Most bodybuilders, if they got in the ring, would look like this. fair on him, that's a good little ballet move there. I think that's a pirouette. It seemed like he was going for some sort of spinning kick and he injured his leg. But this guy, he's got quite a bit of MMA experience. He used to be a bodybuilder or strongman or something. But his movement is terrible despite having so many MMA fights. Look the way he runs here. I mean, what was all that about? I think he pulled his hamstring or snapped his hamstring there. Look the way he plants his foot just to run. What the hell? The fact of the matter is, size matters in a fight. Whether it's a street fight, whether it's grappling, whether it's striking, it always matters. But if you are the smaller opponent, it's up to you to dictate how much it matters. And the best way to offset that size disadvantage that you've got is to make sure that you're lifting weights, adding muscle onto your frame, but also getting stronger. Don't prioritize just bodybuilding. You need to do a little bit of powerlifting as well. Also, make sure you're doing a martial art. If you was able to choose two, any form of striking combined with any form of grappling, meaning you could do kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you could do boxing and wrestling, you can do Muay Thai and BJJ, whichever you want. If you only had to pick one, try and find a local MMA class where they combine everything together, and then the cardio aspect matters a lot as well, because the bigger someone is, the more likely they are to have cardio issues. So it's ideal if you're able to have the cardio advantage, but you will get that cardio from doing the martial arts themselves. Okay guys, what do you think about this size versus skill debate? Have you got any unique stories that you can leave in the comments down below relating to this topic? Make sure you like the video, subscribe for daily content, and I'll see you all tomorrow